Okay, today we're going to be covering a cost per click formula and how to figure out just how much you can spend in your pay per click accounts. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Mike Mancini, helping you market, simplify, and impact your business. As a Google Ads agency owner, a lot of questions I get are based around cost per click. How much are they able to spend? How much are they going to cost? The questions go out from there. But if you don't understand what cost per click is, up in the upper right-hand corner here, there is another one of our videos. You should probably start there. That will explain exactly what cost per click is. If you do understand cost per click, what we need to try to figure out is exactly what the maximum amount we're willing to pay is per click. With that said, this is absolutely crucial that you listen to this part. I am willing to pay more than what this will tell me if that turns into conversions. There are going to be clicks that are very, very small. There are going to be clicks that are a little bit more expensive. What you have to understand is over time, as you optimize your campaigns, typically you will start to bring the cost of those clicks down as they start performing better. So just because you see a click in your campaign that might be higher than what this number is that we're going to show you, you need to understand that that can change over time. But if it's a keyword that converts really well, you need to make sure that you're aware of that and you take that into account. So let's take a look at a little diagram here. So right now we're going to try and figure out the maximum cost per click. What you need to understand is your margins. Now, if you are selling a product and that product is $200 and your margins are 50%, you would be making $100 on that product, right? If you had a service business and every service call you went out on was worth $200 to your business, but between gas and insurance and paying your supplies and paying your employees, if the 100 of that goes towards that service, then out of that $200, you would be left with $100. We are going to just use $100 just because it's easier to calculate. So let's say your margins are $100. Now your conversion rate. Now an average conversion rate is probably around 3%. So we're just going to stick with that. So how we're going to figure out our maximum cost per click is we are going to take $100, our margin, and we're going to multiply that by 3%. What that comes out to be is $3. So we'd like our maximum cost per click to be around $3. So how do we know that that's the right number? Because if we have 100 customers coming to our website and that 3% of them are converting, we could take 100 divided by 3, that ends up equaling 33.3%. So what that means is 1 out of every 33% of the people that get to our website will actually convert. So if we take our maximum cost per click by $3 and we multiply that by 33.33%, that ends up being $99.99, right under our $100 margin. If we spend more than that $100, we've actually lost money on this campaign. So for example, if we end up spending $3.25 and we multiply it again by that 33.33%, we will end up spending $108.32. If we're only making $100 on that job, but we spend $108 to get it, we've actually lost $8.32. So now depending on the service that you're in, $3 is actually not a lot per click. I know you may be thinking that that's really expensive, but let's just say that you are converting at a much better rate. Let's say you're converting at 5%. That means 100 times 5% ends up being $5 a click. So when we get down here, 100 divided by 5 ends up being 20%. We're going to change this to our $5 click times 20%. That ends up being $100. So if you convert better, you can actually afford to pay more per click. But let's say that all of a sudden something happens and you're able to increase your margins to $150. We change a few numbers here. $150 times 5% is actually $7.50. And you see how the numbers work out there. Now, do we always want to pay $7.50 per click? Absolutely not. We'd obviously like to pay a lot lower, but this is just a guideline that can help you figure out what you could possibly afford in your pay-per-click campaign. But please also keep in mind, certain keywords that you run are going to convert at better than 5%. Other keywords might be lower. You need to take that into account. If I'm using this calculator and I'm seeing $5 or $7.50 a click, I might be willing to pay more per click if that keyword converts better. Now, you obviously don't want to use all of your margins to acquire customers, but this gives you an idea or a guideline on how much you can possibly spend. There are a lot of other factors that go into it, but once again, this is just a guideline. All right, so if you like videos like this and you want to see more, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really helps us in the eyes of YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll be notified of when we release new videos each and every week. And if you want to see some more great videos on cost per click or other Google ads, over to the right-hand side, you will see some videos there. Thanks so much again. I hope that helped market, simplify, or impact your business. Hope to see you next time.